Okay, here we go. Got some hay in, and there's about the level of I want the mulch. And after the mulch, I'm going in and just throwing the wheelbarrow, just dumping it. The next thing I'm gonna be kind of low down here. I'll have to manually build this up because I need an entry point. But when I do fill dirt, before the fill dirt, I'll be doing a decent layer of the bedding material from the dairy cattle. It's got lots of good stuff in it. It's been setting for a while. I'll lay that on top of the mulch, and then I'll mound up the final will be fill dirt. And the trick here is, when I'm getting my dirt laid in, as I come this way, if I progress like 5 or so feet, I'm going to stop, and I'm going to add a tie wire. It's that piece of wire laying on the ground, but I'll go across from the front side of this pallet where a 2x4 is. I'll probably go from here, bring it across, and around the front of this right here, and I'm hitting the middle. Skip a spot, hit that one, skip a spot, hit that one, as I progress forward with fill dirt. And then I can take out all these tomato stakes and all these temporary straps and such, and wash, rinse, and repeat for this side. Why we've stopped mass production is because we're third week of March. We've got seed plants that are up. We've got squash that's dying to climb something. I swear to God, we put those in the ground, and 2.5 days later they were up an inch high. We salvaged seed from our largest fruit from the year before, put it on a paper plate, let it dry out. I just write on the paper plate what the seed is from, put the seed on the plate, stack another paper plate on top of it, do some more seed of something else like a pepper, put them in the garage in there. It stays good and chilly. So the reason why we stop mass production, moving forward, is because we've got things we've got to get in the ground. So I'm going to get 2 bays going. That should keep the wife busy for a minute while I complete that one and move over to that one. 3 systems, all in about $175 per bay, $300 for a system. We have 3 systems. The reason why the price was that value, not to say high or low, because I hate it when people say that's too expensive or that's so high. There's a big difference between something being expensive and something not being in your budget. So right now, we've done a good job with our budget, and we've worked really hard for what we're trying to achieve here. And my mind is wrapped around trying to make it last. What I can do to the exterior to keep this wood dry. Things I've done to keep the pallets off the ground. The wife and I run into these obstacles, and we continuously try to engineer a solution for it. So time will tell. I'm hopeful the interior pallet wood will last a long time. I tried to nitpick and choose the oak ones priority and not use the pine ones where I could not use the pine ones, but there is a lot of pine in there. And then how do I keep the exterior wood dry? Lucky for me, this area gets a lot of sunlight. I've seen pallets survive years and years and years just sitting around, but we shall see. I give it 10 or 15 years. I'd say in 10 years I've probably made a couple of major repairs, but moving on. All right, it's another day. So I've kicked my opening inboard about 1 inch, because now I need to run this ramp right here. Set the ramp up. There we go. And put topsoil on. With that there wheelbarrow. Wish I could find some information on that wheelbarrow. It's got to be 80 years old. I had it when I was a kid. Or it was our family, it was our only wheelbarrow growing up. But it's getting used. Came from a concrete site. I think concrete is what preserved this thing so long, because there's still concrete stuck all over it. And I've used it for concrete a couple of times. The handles aren't original, but what do you expect? So there's the manure. You can see my hay layer. Everything is going as planned. There's the mulch layer, manure layer, and now it's time for that. The crappy part, literally, and it's a good thing there's a lot of bedding material in there, is I have to wheelbarrow and walk all over that manure to get to the far end. I can't dump here because there's no end cap. I'm afraid I'll spread the sides out. What I want to do is go to the end, dump a couple loads, and then add my top support wire as I progress this way. But hey, at least I got my mucks on. All is well in that category. See ya. Okay, a few minutes later, there's topsoil going in. And what I had to do was temporarily fix a ratchet strap ahead of my dirt pile, just a foot or so, from one wall to the other, to pull the wall so that it's 40 inches spacing. And when I got up to the ratchet strap, I was able to add a permanent support wire. Got the dirt about where I want it. It's going to settle. Got mulch and manure and hay. And as you can see, I've got a way to wheelbarrow in. Gives you almost a visual section of gardens, you know, with the support wire installed. You can have a section for that, section for this, serving dual purpose. And the wall doesn't look all that great right now, but everything's going together as I planned, with this edge up to the wire, this top support wire, because I'm on a slight grade right here. Hello, Elvis. Staying pretty straight. This being empty, It's saggy and swaggery, but it will all true up good enough for the people we know. As I progress forward, I'll be adding a ratchet strap right where my finger is, going across, and pull it to 40 inches. Bring in dirt. Once I get to the ratchet strap, I'll replace it with a wire. And I just keep progressing, and that's what's going to happen to all these. It's a little bit of work hauling the dirt. I don't know how many wheelbarrow loads I'm up to now, but the mulch, the hay, yeah, it goes quick. The mulch goes lickety-split. You can, if you know anything about cattle fencing, you can see my spacing, but 2-foot high pallets, and you can see about what I'm achieving on dirt. I would say probably for topsoil, I'm going from here to probably there, if not an inch or so below, 2 inches. Quite a bit of topsoil. Should work out just fine. Now when it comes to attaching the hoops, we're going to use hog rings. If you don't know what those are, just Google it. Hog rings, usually used on upholstery. But here's one installed hog ring right here. It's a little simple tool. Well, it's a pretty simple tool. You can use a pair of pliers if you want, but we happen to have the tool. I'm gonna put these every other one to get them spliced. If you lay out a system like this, it is so important to get things straight and on the same plane as they relate to each other. Not necessarily level, just straight and on the same plane, so that everything, if you care about the aesthetics of the way it looks. Like that wire right there travels in a straight line. There's no jumping around from panel to panel. All the lines are straight. I said this before, but I'll probably do one more video when this one's complete, and then I'm going to be moving over to that one. This is my learning bed for dirt, and it's going about as fast as I thought, which is slow as hell. I'll probably have 30 wheelbarrow loads of dirt back there, and I'm going half full, because that's a lot to negotiate. If you wreck and tip over, you destroy your walls, and things tip over, you know. All right, talk to you in a bit.